Hey guys, Donnie here. I'm gonna start this series giving you my thoughts, and I'm gonna just label it as my thoughts. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the recent announcements this week with the newest inductee or announced inductee for the class of 2020, Moment of Bliss on SmackDown for March 6th. And then a WWE Hall of Famer being on Raw on March 16th. And everybody probably already know. And if you don't know, it should be hinted by the date. Just take March 16th into the number version of 316. You should be able to get it. Now, Hall of Famer. As everybody will know, or as everybody knows, the announced Hall of Famers before WWE Backstage this past Tuesday was first off was Batista, the NWO members of Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Shawn Waltman. And then finally, the Bella Twins. It was announced on WWE Backstage that John Bradshaw Layfield will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. First off, I would like, before I go to start talking about John Bradshaw Layfield be inducted in the class of 2020, I'd like to go run through a little bit of each ones that's going to be inducted so far. Now, Batista. Did he really have a Hall of Fame career? And that's a lot of people will be asking. Not me personally, but a lot of people will be asking, will be asking, did he have a Hall of Fame career? Me, I do not really look at it that much as a Hall of Fame career, but I guess you can, if you're going to put someone like Coco Beware in there that didn't do much in their career, you might as well put Batista in there as well. I know Wrestling Rampage doesn't really like Batista. When I was younger, I really loved Batista. I say he deserves it more than Coco Beware, for my opinion. Because this way I look at it, he had a little bit more. He accomplished a little bit more than Coco Beware did. So therefore, if you look at his accomplishments, he deserves it. Even though if you don't like him, he does deserve it. Now in the NWO. Now, as I stated, the members that's going in is Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. The first three members, along with Shawn Waltman. But they skipped over a guy. Shawn Waltman was the fifth member, if I'm correct, to join the NWO as six. Well, no, actually he was six. They're skipping over two guys because Eric Bischoff named him six because he was the sixth member. They skipped over the Giant and Ted DiBiase Sr. And the only reason I see Sr. is because his son, Ted DiBiase Jr. wrestled as well. But if they was going to induct the NWO, they should induct all the members of the NWO, not just 4 of them. And say, I don't think it's right for every other member of the NWO to watch those 4 get inducted, and they don't. Not as part of the NWO. And just to mention, the Giant is, if you didn't know, is now will later become the Big Show. Now I'll move on to the Billow Twins. I think the Billow Twins does kind of deserve to be in there. They did help the women's revolution move on a little bit, but again, same with Batista. If you want to put someone that doesn't even deserve to be in a wrestling Hall of Fame in there, you might as well put the Bella Twins in there. And I'm sure Wrestling Rampage would agree on that. Now, moving on to the latest inductee for the class of 2020 in the WWE Hall of Fame, John Bradshaw Layfield. Out of all of ones that's been announced so far, he is the one that deserves to be put in the WWE Hall of Fame the most. Because if you look at his career, it's well deserved. He's a multiple time World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, Tag Team Champion if I'm not mistaken. And he was also the Hardcore Champion and the Intercontinental Champion. You really look at it, along with he deserves it. Plus, he was during the Ruthless Aggression era. During that time, they need a great heel. He was the perfect guy to be that heel. The greatest, one of the greatest heels of all time, especially in the Ruthless Aggression era. He's up in within the top 5 the greatest heels in the Ruthless Aggression era. Now, that's all I had to say about the Hall of Fame. Now I'm going to move on to Moment of Bliss on SmackDown on March 6th. And the only reason I'm saying March 6th is because I'm really recording this late on March 5th. Now, it was announced. Now, I'm going to say, yes, I'm still, in a way, talking about the Hall of Fame, but it's not technically the induction of the Hall of Fame. But it's in a way on Moment of Bliss on March 6th, 2020. Tonight, if you're watching it on March 6th, it was announced today on March 5th that on Moment of Bliss, the soon-to-be, or the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020 members, or Hall of Fame class of 2020, the NWO is going to be on there. I have a little problem. In the graphic, it showed Alexa Bliss with only three members, of the NWO that's going in the Hall of Fame. I want to know why it's only 3 going to be on there. And that's Kevin Nash, Sean Waltman, and Scott Hall. Where the fuck is Hulk Hogan? Isn't he going to go into the Hall of Fame as part of the NWO as well? If you want to have the Hall, Nash, and Waltman on there, why not Hogan? He's he's going to be inducted as part of the NWO too. So I think if you're going to have those three, you should have Hogan as well. I just find that very, very fucked up. Say, Hogan is the one that contributed the most to the NWO, besides Hogan or Hall and Nash. So why wouldn't you want to have him on Moment of Bliss? Most likely talking about them being inducted into the Hall of Fame. To talk about him being inducted, part of the NWO. And that's all I have to say for now about that. Now, moving on to the WWE Hall of Famer being on Raw on March 16th, 316. If you didn't figure it out, or if you didn't know and you couldn't figure it out by now, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. You say everyone should know 316, Austin 316. If you're a true blue wrestling fan, you should know Austin 316. I think, yes, it's a good publicity, him talking about 316 and all that, and being him having a day. But all it is trying. All WWE is trying to do with Steve is trying to get people, or using him to get people to watch Raw because of the viewerships of Raw and SmackDown and technically NXT as well are doing very, very poor. I have news for WWE. I really do. Stop having a poor fucking product, and stop using these these legends that were put in the damn time to uh, uh, just to try to get your viewerships up. They don't need to put in more time because their time has already came and passed. So why should they help your asses? Because your asses don't want to put in the extra work to make the product even better. And yes, I'm looking at you, Vince. It's your ass fault. If you would get out of WWE, maybe the product will be better because uh, Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane will be running WWE. Let those three run it. Maybe the product will be better. Look at NXT and what Triple H is doing with NXT. He's doing a great job making it better. Look at with Matt Hardy. He wanted to leave because you didn't have nothing for him. Because Triple H knows what to do with a lot of guys, and he would have used Matt Hardy the right way. And if he couldn't, if Triple H couldn't, Matt Hardy, he would have had Triple H would have gave Matt Hardy a little bit of control in his character. And I'm sure he would have a little bit, but like I said, stop using these legends and Hall of Famers just to boost your ratings. That's only going to last one night. The next week, the ratings is going to go back down. And I'm going to talk about one last thing I just now thought of, and that's the Fiend losing the Universal Championship at Super Showdown a little over a week ago to old as fuck Oldberg. I think the Fiend should have won because here's why. You're destroying The Fiend. With him losing to Oldberg, it destroyed The Fiend. I'm fine with The Fiend losing as long as it was the right time and to the right person. Oldberg was not the right person, nor was it the right time. I think the right time would have been about maybe WrestleMania. At WrestleMania itself, if you want him to lose, have him lose at WrestleMania. If you wanted him to, say, there's big old rumors about Roman Reigns getting the title. Me, personally, this might be an unpopular decision, but I'd rather see Roman Reigns as a heel over a face. So I think it would have been great if The Fiend and Roman Reigns had a match instead of Roman Reigns and Goldberg and The Fiend having a match against John Cena. If they want John Cena to have a match, have him face somebody else. And put somebody else that really needs it. The Fiend should have had a match against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins the match and then therefore gets booed out of the arena. Not only that night at WrestleMania, but the next night on the Raw after Mania. And go on with the heel run for Reigns. Go in a little bit with have a little bit of rivalry with the Fiend versus Roman, and have where Roman wins about maybe 2-3 matches over the Fiend after WrestleMania, and uh, then have it where people was interfering and helping Reigns, and then have the Fiend face them because they attacked help Roman Reigns. He'll be keeping that revenge streak going because he kind of keeps the revenge a little bit, but you don't have to keep on doing the revenge. I'd rather see if I was want to see John Cena versus the Fiend at WrestleMania. I'd rather see it like next year. Uh, Instead of this year, I'd rather see the Fiend versus Reigns for the reasons I just said. Now that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.